I'm going to reconvene the meeting, and again, this particular session is for comments and questions by the board and the general manager only. Again, this afternoon, we will have up to 2-hour Q&A for residents. There will be sign-up list starting at 1:30. If you want to come a little early, make sure you get on the list. I don't know how many people are going to have questions, but that will be your opportunity to ask questions. Comments should be reserved for the board. Workshop on the 30th at 1:30. We will have ample time, I hope, for all residents to provide their comments on the report and related issues. And we will have a special board meeting on the 6th, again, in which there will be some resident comment opportunity. That's the time the board will discuss this in depth and make a decision based on the report here and comments from the residents and other factors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow comments or questions from board members. We're going to kind of rotate it. So I'm going to ask that any board member, you can have multiple questions or comments, but that you limit in any particular phase here, you limit your questions to 2, and then we will kind of go from board member to board member, and we will try that. Does that sound acceptable?
Sound good to everybody?
Okay. So we'll kind of start out.
You got any questions still at this point?
Or comment, whatever.
Having spoken with these gentlemen this morning, all my questions have been answered, so I'm going to pass them.
Ditto.
Janice?
Oh, wow. Okay, Bob, you got to
Janice?
Okay, my first comment that I would like to make mostly to the gentlemen, thank you very much for excellent presentation and getting us all very busy for the next couple, 3-4 weeks. I do want you to know, however, that the reserve study, the reserve count is fully funded, and we are quite well prepared in that capacity. So I wanted to believe everyone that our $30 that goes to our assessment has taken care of every aspect of our reserve needs. One question or two?
Yeah, we're waiting. What? Since you've read the comment on that, we'll come back to that.
Okay. I would like some clarification on your anticipation of our payroll, our needs in the food and beverage, as far as the 12% to 15% that we have now, and that's built in with our assessment. As we expand, I expect 2 things. I expect that we're going to have increased utilization of the facility, and I expect that we're going to have increased staffing of the facility. Do you anticipate, having said just that, with very little opportunity for you to have researched it, that we may see an increase in that deficit or that amount of assessment that's needed?
I think it's easy to say yes to that. Only because, I mean, unless you've done a complete study as far as how many personnel is going to be there, it'd be my recommendation to go through and look at the payroll in detail as to how many people you're going to have, how many people you're going to have on the floor. However, whenever you open a facility, and again, all you've done is expanded the space, I'm assuming that you're not going to add to your kitchen staff. Really what you're talking about a server. So it might go up a few points, but it's really hard to tell. I mean, in our...
Excuse me, let me address that. We're going to expand as your resident usage increases. The bar is bigger, but a bartender or 2 bartenders we have now can service that bar fully seated. So as revenue and demand increases, we'll increase service. But going in, the residents, as you know, we naturally increase seasonal service. We add part-time people. So the plan is going in is to add part-time people that don't require benefits and schedule them as needed as demand ramps up. So, excuse me, Bob, we do, this club does ramp up in season significantly, and we will change the staff. That's something that's secular, it's been going on here for the past 2.5 years.
I mean, that's great, but I was asking about the expansion. I was more asking about the expansion entity of it, and I totally agree with Bill said. We have a seasonal aspect of this, but we could do it. Hello? Now I get to send, okay, no, I was, saying that our summer, my observation has been profound compared to when we have less people here. So I think we've done an outstanding job during this season. But I'm just talking about the expansion aspect of it, higher utilization and higher need for staff, and I think that that's going to reflect something in the percentage.
I think you're right. I mean, there may be some increase in expenses. It seems to be obvious. You have a bigger footprint now, too. Yep.
Thanks, yeah, similar to what Janice is saying, I'd like to thank the two of you for an excellent presentation and for all the work. I think it was outstanding. What I'd like to do is just confirm, as you mentioned earlier, that you feel the association is in extremely good financial condition. That's good to know and good to hear. I'd like to summarize, though, a couple of residents met me during a break to summarize, and I'd like to, if I can, summarize their conclusion and see if you agree with it. That essentially, as you mentioned earlier, our residents subsidize food and beverage operations to the tune of roughly 12 cents to the dollar. The industry average is 41 cents. Assume that's good news. But yet you're recommending that we increase assessments $600. So I need to address that. $600 a year for homelessness. And the other issue is that, as you mentioned, that residents right now subsidize golf to the tune of about $10 a month. And you're suggesting somewhere in the process, in the future, somewhere between increased assessments of $17 to $41 per month. So I'd like you to comment as to whether that the gist, as it relates to assessment, is that the gist of the presentation?
Again, I'm going to clarify. The food and beverage minimum is not an assessment per se. It's an amount of money that a member or household would have to spend in dining at the club. If they don't spend, and I broke it down to $50 a month for 12 months, whatever isn't spent at the end of the 12 months, or $600, would be billed to them. So if they use the $600, they're going to get meals, and they won't be, they won't owe assessment at the end. It's a very common method for organizations like yours to increase participation in the dining room. It's the kind of thing, as I understand it, that the members would have to approve by vote. So I see no reason why you wouldn't want to put it to vote.
With regards to the $17 to $41, what we're saying there is your model as it stands right now, if it doesn't change somehow, that's what you're looking at. There's your parameters, $17 to $41. Now, we suggest that you lower prepaid rates, and with that, daily rates will probably come down as well if we use yield management. We suggest that you consider getting a PGA professional to come in and help the current professional, and the golf committee, the board, look at what tee times really mean. When you do all three of those, then the 17 to 41 may not be the rate. But if you do nothing right now, then everything that we see in the industry is suggesting that that's where your assessments may need to go. Unless we also find a way to lower the cost.